What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Luke Belmar here, 4:46 a.m. Just another day. As always, I've been up for about an hour now, working with my Asia team on some website stuff. You guys are going to be super excited when Capital Club opens. But anyways, I wanted to impart upon you a data set today about humility. Humility is a necessary ingredient for growth. Humility is a required ingredient for growth. It is impossible to develop unless you have humility. And if you begin to understand the power of adopting a state of mind and a state of heart that is humble, because you aren't shit. Well, you're actually literally shit. You're a sack of shit. You're carrying 5 to 7 pounds of feces at all times. I've said this before. It's interesting because people walk around thinking that they're something, maybe it's a coping mechanism, right? A self-grandiose image of self that knows everything. Maybe a coping mechanism and a mechanism to deal with existence. But the truth is, humility and understanding that you're here to learn, you're here to explore, you're here to understand. And you can't understand if you're always talking. You can't understand if you're never listening. You can't understand if you never stop and digest. If you want to lead, you need to be humble. If you want to be a good father, a good spouse, a good friend, a good coworker, a good employee, a good boss, if you are humble, people will love you. Like, I don't understand how this is such a complex thought to understand. It's like people don't like people who think that they know everything and who think that they have nothing to learn. Those people are dangerous. You do not want to be that person. That person does not want to be that person. So evaluate your life. Are you open to receiving information? Are you open to receiving criticism? Are you open to being challenged with your worldviews? That's certainly important to me. I've been challenged in my life. I've been challenged because I've positioned myself to be in challenging situations. Because when you challenge yourself and you humble yourself, for example, I'll give you guys 2 examples. The first one, I'm morbidly afraid of heights. Morbidly afraid. So I went paragliding. Now, to a lot of people, it would be like a bucket list challenge, cross it off. But to me, it was a humbling experience. Why? The reason it was a humbling experience is because it taught me how small and insignificant I am. And I could witness it. I could feel it when I was in the air, right? So fragile, literally being held up by cords. And it was a moment of humility, but it was also a moment of learning and a moment of experience. I once lost over $1 million in a bad investment. As you guys know, I've made a lot of money in crypto. I made a lot of money by investing in companies early on during the bear market when a lot of you guys weren't investing. And these were known as like ICOs or token allocations and things of this nature. They were quite popular if you were in certain groups. But I made one investment on one token and one project and one team that ended up being a scam. It was like $1 million, right? Once again, a humbling experience. I didn't know shit. And as I reflected upon it, which is kind of all you can do upon a situation, is just reflect upon that which you're witnessing so you don't repeat the same mistake. I realized, right? And this is when I launched Capital Club, right? I realized that I was a poor person with money and that I needed so much more. As a humbling experience, right? You will either humble yourself or life will humble you. And the latter tends to hurt a little bit more. But it is avoidable because at the end of the day, life tends to teach you the same lessons over and over and over again until you learn them. Life has an interesting way of operating in this nature. So if you don't seem to be advancing, it's because there's probably something in your life that needs change. And it requires humility to identify these things. A leader is humble. A good leader is humble. And you want to be humble because you need to understand the dynamic that you hold with your organization. The reason your employees are here is not to serve you, right? The reason your employees are here is so that you can build a good enough product so that you can serve them and their interests. These people have interests. They're here for a reason, bro. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had to be here. Let's be frank with each other. So what is it that they want? Well, they want stability. They want money. They have different human needs. I have an 8-figure affiliate marketer and lead generator. It does about $1 million a month in lead gen for financial services and net profit. And he, inside the academy in Capital Club, he talks about the 6 human needs. So I look forward to for you guys to dive into that, but it requires humility to identify these things. And I wanted to impart upon you that data set. So yeah, 4:53 in the morning, up, well, awake, excited. Capital Club coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to, I promise you, guys, listen to me. Fucking $1 a day, less than a cheeseburger, less than the price of, walk into a Starbucks, ask for the cheapest coffee, look at the receipt, and ask yourself if for the price of half this, right, half a little cup of coffee, I can level up to proportions that can increase my odds of success by so much that my odds and my advantage in the marketplace have increased 1,000-fold. That's what Capital Club is all about. The multiplication of preservation and the creation of wealth. So that's what it's all about. Anyways, appreciate you guys. That's the data set for the day. Humility is a necessary ingredient in the game of life.